Do you want to enter the metaverse and you have no idea how to get in? Well, let me tell you, it's actually easier than you think. You don't need crypto. You don't even need to download anything. You can enter through your browser as a guest and check out what the heck is going on in the metaverse. Hi, I'm Carmen, the community coach, and I want to help you guys check out the metaverse, see what it's all about, and what does this mean for anybody in the community building space. All right, let's get started. So you're going to visit the website called decentraland.org. This is actually one of the virtual worlds that exist in the metaverse. It's actually one of the biggest that I've seen for sure. There's a lot that's going on at all times. So this one's a really, really great world to visit and explore and learn a little bit more about what exists in the metaverse. The great thing about Decentraland is that you don't need to have crypto. You don't need to have a wallet with crypto to get started. This is completely free. It's within your browser. So all you need is internet connection and you can get started and enter the metaverse. Let's do that. What you do is you click on this Start Exploring in the top right corner, and you can see that you get two options here. You can play using your wallet or you can play as guest. If you play as guest, your information will be locally stored and your experience will be limited. But don't worry too much about that because, to be honest, I've joined as a guest many times in Decentraland and it saves all my settings like my avatar and whatnot. So just know that even if you join as a guest, you can still get started and keep joining again in future as the same avatar. So click on the option to continue as guest. It really is the easiest way to enter the metaverse. And what's happening is you're actually having the scenes downloaded in real time throughout your browser, all the 3D models and sounds. All of it is currently being loaded up in your browser. It's pretty amazing if you think about it. You can just literally enter the metaverse by just opening up Google Chrome and getting started. And here we are. We're actually in the metaverse. So welcome. And I'm so excited to share this with you. This is where you start. When you enter Decentraland, you always join the metaverse in this Genesis Plaza, they call it. It is the starting point, and you can see all these people popping into the space in real time. They are also entering the metaverse as we speak. So that's super exciting. And yeah, I'm really excited to show you guys this. Now, what happens is you'll find like, oh my gosh, I can't look around and I can't really move and do stuff. What you do is you actually click on the screen first, and then your mouse can rotate around the world. So I can now take a look and see, what am I looking at? I can look up to the sky, see all these red trees. It's nighttime in the metaverse right now. So this actually changes. You can view the daytime or the nighttime depending on the actual time. Now, I'm well aware that you may actually not see this screen when you first join. You may actually see your avatar to be created. And I'm pretty sure that that's what I did when I first joined Decentraland. Like I said, I've actually joined as a guest many times over. So for you guys, if you're new, then you may have to actually go ahead and create your avatar, and it should be pretty straightforward. It's just like any game. If you've joined a game and you've had to create a character, just go ahead and create whatever you want. And as soon as that's done, you should be in this part of the metaverse that I am in. And now if I walk around, I can actually see different people and the way that they express themselves. This is what excites me the most about the concept of the metaverse, is that we can choose to be whatever we want and we can showcase our identity in a way that is completely different to what we are like in the physical real world. This person, for instance, has decided to be a burger head, and I am all for that. I cheer for it. I love it. It's just awesome. And I think that when we're talking about building community and building safe spaces, the fact that I could create a completely different avatar that has an identity that maybe I personally feel like expresses my creativity or how I'm feeling. And I think that's just a really exciting concept. And I'm excited to see, as a community manager, how I can create these spaces in the metaverse where people can express themselves and have fun with it. So we have these three different pillars here. We have classics, events, and crowd. And this actually it's almost like the welcome space for people that are joining the metaverse to see what's going on and what they can experience. The events is pretty self-explanatory. I can come up to this board, I can click on the board, and you can see it actually lights up. It's really interactive, and it's a fun way to explore the events that are going on in the metaverse. And I can jump into these events at any time. I can just go ahead, jump in, and it will actually teleport me to the place in the metaverse where this event is being taken place. And it's that simple. So I think for a new person that is trying to understand what events are going on in the metaverse, this board is a great way to get started and just jump into something that takes your fancy, because it's just so simple to do that. Now, it does give you directions as well as to how to scroll the event. So we use the E and F button, and you can see that currently, here we go. We can see all the different events. There are other ways, and I'll show you how you can explore other events in a probably more 2D manner, and it might be a bit simpler for you to look through all of these. But yeah, it's a pretty neat way of being able to see all the events in the metaverse. The crowd informational banner is really interesting because here I can see where are all the people hanging out. And if I scroll through this, I can see that there's currently, it's a 3D world, which is fun, but it does mean you have to get used to the controls. Trust me, it does get easier after a while. But I can see that there's like 378 people, for instance, currently in this poker stronghold room. There's a few poker sessions going on. Clearly, poker's very, very popular in Decentraland because people can earn crypto, and it's apparently a very profitable way for some people to earn crypto. So it's very popular. But yeah, I can actually scroll through these and see what else is going on. There's a crafting game, there's games. It's just so interactive, and I feel like there's constantly different things going on. So feel free to take a look through these. You just press the E or F key to scroll through these. And yeah, it's just a fun way to explore the beginnings of your metaverse journey. And then you also have these classics, and these are actually events. So if I click on one, these are actually places that you can go, and they're pretty interactive. So these change all the time as well. And there's apparently a place where you can go and fly on the back of a dragon, and yeah, just interactive, and where people can actually have fun and experiment. This is all really new to a lot of people. So you'll find that there's a lot of people here that are just even trying to work out the controls. I'm moving around using the arrow keys of my keyboard. You can also use the DASD, I think, or WASD on your keyboard. The way to see all your controls, if I press escape, it will show my cursor. And if I press escape again, I get the settings. And I can actually see there's a tutorial section here, and I highly recommend in the settings going to the tutorial and just letting them take you through. It's not boring. I promise you, it's not like the typical tutorials. It actually has a robot that comes up and shows you a few things just to get you started. So do recommend that you give that a go. You can also change the graphics and audio as well. So for instance, I've changed the voice chat so that it's just my friends, just because it can get pretty noisy in the metaverse world. It is a place where people can just unmute their microphones and talk. And I found that quite distracting. So I've only allowed it for friends for now, especially when showing you this video. To be honest, I didn't really want you to be dealing with all the noises that you can hear. Now, if I press C on the keyboard, it actually comes up with all the mouse and key controls that you need. So this is really helpful, because I know for myself, it took me a while to learn all the shortcuts and understand how I could switch views and do all the necessary things to kind of be a part of this metaverse and really, truly enjoy it. So I highly recommend pressing C to open and close a Callisto control panel. You can see that you can expand the map by pressing M. So there is a map in the metaverse. It's like exploring a whole digital world. And trust me, the map is extensive. There is a lot of places for you to explore. You could spend hours in the metaverse, no joke. And people do. People really do. The one that I do want to highlight is B, because if you do join an event in the metaverse, and if you press B, you can actually emote with your avatar. And it's really fun. Like I can start to dance, for instance, and here you can see that I'm dancing, and that's actually the shortcut is 3. And then if I press 4, that's another one. But if I press B, I can see all the things that I can do. And over time, when you get more used to it, you'll be able to do all of these in real time at a party. And trust me, when there's a whole bunch of people that are in a space, it actually becomes really fun because you're all like dancing, and you can have people that are performing live in the metaverse, and you want to kind of get in the mood and show people that you're enjoying it. And if I wanted to change the view so that I'm not looking at my avatar so much, then if you find that too distracting, then press V. And what you'll find is that you're then just looking at the screen rather than your actual avatar. I actually personally like to see my avatar. So there's that. Now, the way that I can start to properly explore the metaverse is 2 ways, really. I can either click on one of the events that are happening on these billboards, or go into where like the crowd is. If there's a ton of people in a space and I want to check it out, I can literally go over to those boards and jump in to a space. Or you could do this super fun way, which is basically walk the plank. And as you can see, I can walk through people. So, it's not really a real world physics situation here, but I can actually jump into the metaverse here. So I'm going to do that. Woo! And now we're in Genesis Plaza officially. And this is sort of like Decentraland's headquarters. It's really cool because you get to walk around this space and you'll see these sort of like insider crypto or Web3 jokes. You'll see like the Bitcoin statue logo there. There's a whole ton. There's a CryptoPunks over here. There's just like a lot of insider jokes and people that have been in the space for a long time, the ones that are creating this world. You'll see that you've got like Dogecoin walking around, not Dogecoin, but Doge himself walking around, and you can emote. So you can go up to there, you can see it says E is wow. And it's just funny. It's fun to explore and see what's going on, and you can actually interact with people. So if I go over to this space, I can interact with some of these. They're called kind of like robots. They're actually people that are fixed in the space. They're not like real avatar people that are sitting there at all times. They're sort of like bots that can help me navigate the space and say I want to get some art exhibitions and I want to explore more. They'll give me some recommendations here. And so it's a really, really great way to get started. It's just like walk around this headquarters. Let's just visit one of these spaces. Why not? I'm going to go to the Rapture Gallery. So you can see here, I've got 2 options. I've been pressing F for more, but if I want to visit the Rapture Gallery because it's a really hip spot and sounds awesome, I can press E and it can teleport me to this space. Let's do it. Let's jump in. So what it's doing is it's actually teleporting me to a space in Decentraland. If I click on the map, I can see exactly where I am. I can scroll out and see that what they've done is they've teleported me. Decentraland is massive, you guys. I can spend hours just like exploring all the different spaces, but this is where I was before. I was in Genesis Plaza, and it's just literally teleported me to this space. Now I could, technically speaking, walk from Genesis Plaza. I could have walked all the way through all of these plots of lands, and technically I could get to this spot now that I'm in. So just letting you know that you can teleport, or you can, just like actually go and walk around all the different spaces. But I'm now teleported into this hip gallery spot, Rapture Gallery. This is it. So this is a hip spot. I'm going to share my computer audio so that you can hear like the experience is not just. All right, cool. I'm going to share my audio so that you can hear. the experience is not just about visual. It's like trying to immerse you into this entire space, and music's one of them. I've been to music concerts in the metaverse. It's pretty amazing. So you can see here we've got like CryptoPunks, and I can go and check them out. And what you'll find is it actually integrates with websites. So the metaverse can actually help direct you to, for instance, Lava Labs website. But it's done in a more interactive way where I'm actually exploring and I'm checking out all the different spaces. And I can see future of art exhibitions. There's been some really, really cool art exhibitions. In Decentraland, I can actually see animated art too, right? So it's, again, more interactive, and I feel like I'm actually experiencing things in a more immersive way. So that was the gallery. You can just explore by walking around. Again, you just use your arrow keys and just like walk around and see what is going on. Also note that people are constantly building in this space as we speak. So there is still so much going on construction wise, and you might find laggy. Oh, if I walk into that space, I think that was like a music chamber. Random stuff all the time. If you're a community manager, I would start thinking, how can we actually build experiences for our members that are fun and could encourage more interactiveness? I'm actually going to exit this because it feels a little lonely. As I mentioned, the world is huge. So you can find many times that you're in these spots where there's nobody around. You can see that this is all greened out. So these spaces, you can have them as private spaces where no one's allowed in unless they hold an NFT, unless they're invited specifically for, that space. So that's how that works. That's how like land can become very valuable, because you can cordon it off and people are not able to access those spaces unless they have the right privileges, whatever it is that it takes. So yeah, just letting you know that I've definitely walked around and then there's been like a wall that's hit me and it's like, okay, I'm not allowed into that space. But there's tons of public galleries and events. So don't worry, there's going to be plenty that you'll be able to get started with. So I'm going to click on the map, and I mentioned that there was another way that you could explore all the events. Here it is. So if you press escape or the map and you come up with this menu, then you'll find that there's events that are happening all here. And I can press the want to go, and it will actually save it for me so that I can be reminded that I want to go to that event, and it will actually remind me. You can see that there's all sorts of different events. There's games, there's usually like movies, there's artists. I've seen people perform in real time. And yeah, and to be honest, because you can have voice chat, I don't see a reason why you couldn't have your community come together. You have voice chat, and it's literally like you sitting in a room together, talking and connecting, but in a more immersive way. I'm going to jump into somewhere that actually has people in it. So this Wondermine place has 150 people currently in the space. That will just give you an idea of what an event could look like or what an experience could look like. And yeah, just like how we can actually interact with each other. So you've got this chat box at the bottom here, and you can see like people are actually chatting and saying like, hey guys, let's go. And if I had the audio enabled for the talking, then you literally hear people speaking in real time. So here's an experience. You can see that there is stuff to do. And if I click on the diamond, I mean, there's all these different interactive stuff that I can do. So maybe it's like, you're creating an experience in future where that killed me. Yeah, that killed me. So I have to restart Decentraland. And to be honest, that's happened a couple of times to me. It's not as bad as other metaverses that I've been in, if I'm honest. I think that it usually can happen if you're in a space where it's just like the metaverse is overwhelmed with people. Don't get too discouraged. Just try again. The graphics aren't the most incredible. And the reason for that is because they're trying to optimize for the experience. You can always improve graphics later on. That's actually not the hardest part. I think the hardest part is things like, how do I actually create a space where if we're all together, we feel like we're in the same room, we're sharing those experiences together, we're able to communicate with each other. I'm able to see what your emotions are like and like how you're feeling about the space. That's the much tougher challenge that anyone in the metaverse space that's building has to face right now, is how do we create these shared experiences that are just as epic as real life, like going to Coachella, etc. So yeah, if you get kicked out of the space, I mean, that's just reality. I wanted to show you that because it does happen, and don't be too alarmed by it. If I actually go and explore Genesis Plaza, there is a building actually here. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's this one over here that explains Decentraland and the history behind it. And if you want to geek out, like I definitely geeked out in this building. I learned about Decentraland and why the people got together to create this world in the first place. And so you can see it's this building here. It takes you through what a DAO is. It starts with that. And again, this is actually a different way to educate people too, right? So we're talking about different experiences, educating your community. I mean, how are you doing that? Are you just creating blog articles or video tutorials? Well, why not include the metaverse in there and creating these like 3D experiences where I can learn what a DAO is, but I'm also doing it in a way where I feel like I'm kind of gaming, right? And it doesn't feel as boring. I'm probably actually going to retain this information better. And if I talk to this robot here we go. I can learn about the history of Decentraland, and it's fun. I just feel like I'm talking, okay, yes, it's a robot, but it's a bit more interactive and it's done in bite-sized forms. So I don't feel as bored as I would. I mean, I probably wouldn't read like some massive document on the history of Decentraland, but because I'm in Decentraland, I'm actually more willing to learn about it and learn how did this actually get built, and what were the people hoping to create by building this. And so, yeah, and you can keep going through this world and you'll learn more and more about Decentraland and what they did. And 2022, they held a contest to come up with designs for wearables. I think if you're in the community space in general, oh my gosh, I mean, you could just geek out on all this content and what people in Decentraland did, because this world is created by the community. So let's just remember that. They had hackathons where they actually got developers to write code. Oh, they talk about Mana as well. So Mana is actually the currency for Decentraland. So if you want to buy things in the metaverse, in Decentraland, in this world, then you will need to have Mana, which is, just think of it like if you go to a foreign country and you need to buy things, well, you need their foreign currency to actually go ahead and buy it. Same concept. It's just that you're in this new virtual world and you need their currency. So don't worry too much. You don't need to have Mana, obviously, to be here, but it's just great for you to learn more about how this world was created and get inspired for what's to come. This is so early still. I definitely can see so much potential with this, and don't get discouraged by the clunkiness of it and the graphics and feeling like, oh, this belongs in the 90s. It's definitely work in progress. And yeah, I'm seeing more and more people enter this space every day. I mean, I remember when I was in this space and there was no one, like even in the place where you start, I felt like I was the only one there. So just remember that there's a lot more people that are entering the space now. Now, here is my avatar as well. Again, I just actually was really quick with this. You can randomize your avatar, which I think is pretty cool. You can change your avatar as much as you like. And just know that if you did actually have a MetaMask or you had a wallet that was compatible with Decentraland, you can connect that and you can actually enjoying the collectibles, whatever you've purchased that is compatible with Decentraland. Maybe you've bought some swag, then you can actually wear it. And I think for a community manager's perspective, I could create like community coach swag. I could create it for Decentraland, and then I could have a community coach event where I gift the swag to my members and they all wear the swag at the event. And maybe I give them the ability to customize stuff. And so obviously they have their own identity, but yeah, just like it's like the equivalent of real life events where you give out swag and people wear it. Same thing. It's just in the digital version. So I highly recommend just jumping into all these different spaces, giving it a go, seeing what, there's just so much creativity that's happening here. And look at all these spaces. This is another space called Tommy Neuer. And again, this is going to really give you an idea as to what is possible in the metaverse. You can have music, you can have all these different environments and really set the mood. It's up to your imagination. And that's what really excites me about the metaverse is I've seen the Bored Apes create their own space where they had Spotty Wi-Fi, who is a CryptoPunk rapper, perform. All these people that were dancing along whilst this CryptoPunk rapper Spotty was performing on stage, and people were throwing money and just really getting into it. There's just so much opportunity here for people to play around and just explore. I highly recommend, if you're in the community space, you should definitely just jump into this space and explore, because you don't need anything to get started. I hope this video has inspired you to go ahead and enter the metaverse yourself. There are other virtual worlds that exist. So we have places like Sandbox, Crypto Voxels, there's Someplace. There's actually a ton of new worlds that are coming up. I think Decentraland's one of the easiest to get started that I've seen. Sandbox I have downloaded and am in there too, but you do need to download it to get started. So that's why I do recommend Decentraland for a beginner, just to start to explore and just see what is potential for this future. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Carmen, the community coach. Please like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. It really helps me out a lot, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye for now.